Hey y'all, it's Lippy. I didn't think I was going to get this video done today. It is almost 5 o'clock in the evening, and I just sat down to be able to do this herb video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a snapshot of the herb that we're going to speak of. Now, I'm only speaking of the herbs that I'm growing in this garden so things don't get confused. So I'm going to insert a photo, and then we're going to talk about that herb and then run through this. I got watering to do. It's just been a busy day, got both boys. So we're gonna run through this. I know a lot of you are growing the same herbs as I, and I think I said yesterday that really what you need is water and sun. So that's pretty much, but I do fertilize twice a year because what I grow is perennials, meaning they keep coming back. If you're in a colder climate, you may want to grow these in containers where you can then house them throughout your winter months. But the herbs that I'm going to share with y'all are perennials for my zone. And let's start with rosemary. That's at the beginning of the garden, so I'm going to insert a clip and then we'll just move forward from there. And there is my rosemary. I do have it in a container. Hopefully next year we can find the permanent spot, because in my zone and my climate, we can grow rosemary as a hedge and you can trim it. But for right now, they're gonna stay housed in a container. But rosemary loves full sun. Just like a boxwood hedge, you can actually treat rosemary as a hedge. And that's what I love about it. And it does not like water, does not like wet feet. Actually, rosemary wants to become dry before you water. So in my extreme heats, I do give it a drink once a week, not heavy, but you want it dry, completely dry for your fingertip. Very easy to grow rosemary, and if you're in a climate where it's a perennial, you'll never run out of rosemary. But I do put mine in the sun, and the sun's off by 3 o'clock. And they're doing phenomenal, and I have harvested twice already. So there's the rosemary. Now we're gonna move over to the thyme. So I'm trying to stay with the watering and the sun, and we're gonna filter down to partial shade. So let's talk about the thyme. Here's the picture. You're gonna treat it just like rosemary. You only water when it's dry. I water my thyme once a week. That's when you have to know your herbs and companion plant those. You see, I have my thyme, then I have some zinnias. Zinnias, they're not delicate. So they can withstand some heat. They can withstand a little drought. So I've put those and the zinnias, and on the back side, I put Greek oregano. Because Greek oregano, there again, can tolerate some sun, which all the sun goes off mine by 3 o'clock, okay? And dry. So once a week for that bed of thyme and the Greek oregano. Treat it the same as the rosemary. Now we're gonna move to the mint bed. Remember, the mint bed is over to itself. And the reason why is because we've moved into partial shade. The mint may see 2 hours to 3 early morning of full sun. Then it's in partial shade, and it's a heavy feeder for water. I don't standing in water, but I give my mint water twice a week. And because I have a lot of drainage, I just water it, let the water drain off, and walk away. And I do that twice a week. So therefore, if you're gonna let your mint dry, your mint will then die. I don't know how else to say it. Mint is supposedly so easy to grow. The mint today and the mint seeds you get today is not like that old mint. If y'all can find that old mint that just went wild and took over, oh, that's some hardy mint. But the seeds you find today, whether they're heirloom, a hybrid, or a plant, if you get them in too much sun, they're gonna lay over. Plus, any oils that's in there is gonna become bitter. So keeping them in partial shade is gonna make it very fragrant. The leaves are gonna stay moist. You're gonna get that true, powerful mint oil, you know, whether it's mint tea, put it in your lemonade, whatever, or your water. So keep your mint in partial shade and water it twice a week. If you're in extreme heat, it may be every other day. But when you start feeling it lightly dry, you need to water the mint. Now we're going to talk about the lemon balm bed. So now you got a picture of the lemon balm and the parsley. Y'all saw me cut the parsley down a little over a week ago, and it's back up again. But lemon balm and parsley are amazing companions. Partial shade, water twice a week, up to 3 times a week. Not standing in water, they're again kind of like the mint. Good drainage. So if it's in the ground, make sure that it's got good drainage. Something like perlite, if you're using just regular yard dirt, you really need, they like a more loose soil. Not a loomy loose, but just a slight loose soil. So, you know, you could use some perlite to help with some of the drainage. That way, it's not clogging up on you. It's not clumping like a clay, because it'll knock a lemon balm and parsley to its knees. But partial shade to shade, I know it sounds crazy, but it works, y'all. And water 2 to 3 times a week. Now, I told y'all I do not fertilize. I fertilize once in the spring, once in the fall. There again, these are perennials for my area. And this is what I fertilize my herbs with. This is clean kelp. You can use the seaweed. I believe there's a fish emulsion out there that's similar. I have found this to be my friend when it comes to my herbs. I do dilute by half. And the reason why I do that is because I'm also using a mushroom compost, and I'm blending in 3/4 compost, mushroom compost, to 1/4 white sand. So I pretty well know what my compost is with the mushrooms, and it tends to be a little bit more acidic. So I'm gonna dilute this by half. Now, if you're in a container, which mine are in pretty large beds, but if you're gonna grow in a container, go ahead and at the beginning of spring and fall, you can go with the directions. I just find it's easier to go half. That way, if I'm not testing my soil, I'm in a safe zone. I'm not overpowering it, which I don't think you can with this clean kelp. But this is some wonderful, wonderful stuff for your herbs. And I also give my zinnias and my dahlias a little drink of this. When I start seeing them kind of want to lay over, get a little puny, I'll go ahead and give them a little drink of the clean kelp. And that's what I do with my herbs, guys. It is just that simple. Now, you won't see an abundance of herbs for you new followers. There's not a lot of herbs I can grow because I have a protein deficiency and my body rejects a lot of herbs. The herbs that I just showed, my body welcomes, if that makes sense. Now, we didn't talk about the basil. Basil, it's easy. Basil's easy. If you put your basil with your tomatoes, allow the tomato to shade it, you're gonna get a better basil instead of it out in the open, because it's gonna wanna bolt on you, and flower, and you just cut it down. But I will tell you, this is one that I do not have. This is one I can grow and use, but I cannot find seeds, and that is borage. If y'all can get your hands on borage, put a borage plant in between every tomato. Every tomato. It is one of the best bug deterrents, because if you're going to get a bug, it'll go to the borage before it hits your tomatoes. I couldn't find any seeds. Everywhere that I looked online, it was sold out. But if you have borage, you don't know what to do with it, plant it as a bug deterrent or a bug feeder, because they will actually feed on it. They will swell up and then they will belly up. And I'm trying to be nice about it, which that's kind of what we want anyway. And it doesn't affect our bees, okay? But if you can get some borage, borage is your friend. I mean, you can put your borage with your squash, you can put your borage with your tomatoes, but I found it works fantastic with tomatoes and peppers. I forgot about the peppers. So, yeah, get you some borage. Get it, and it's easy to establish. You can direct sow seeds. Easy peasy peasy. I got a lot of watering to do, and the boys are here, so I got to keep my eyes on them. So I apologize that the video's coming out late. There was not much to the herbs, but you know, you asked, and light bulb went off yesterday, and I was like, well, that's the easiest thing to talk about. But all I could talk about was what I am growing. Now, I have a lot of knowledge in other herbs, but it's not herbs that I plant because I can't get the benefit. I just can't get the benefit. So we'll leave it like that. Garden update on Sunday. We have the shade cloth. I'm not showing y'all till Sunday, but the shade cloth's on the one side, and let me tell you what, those tomatoes is coming out of it, I see. Look like they fixing to get a haircut, Lippy. But that's okay. Whew. We got shade on one side of the garden, y'all. That's all plus. We got a lot more to go. I need more coffee. So, as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. See you on the live. If not, see you Sunday morning. Garden update. Bye, y'all.